Before we get into anything, I need to be upfront with you. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be taken as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific investment. Always do your own research and consult a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. Now, let's talk about something that sounds completely absurd. $4 million. Starting from nothing. No inheritance, no trust fund, no lottery ticket, no crypto moonshot. Just a regular paycheck, a simple strategy, and one brutally underrated advantage that most 24-year-olds don't even realize they have. I'm going to walk you through every single year of this journey. The early grind, the boring middle stretch that breaks most people, and the exact moment the math finally tips in your favor so dramatically that your money starts making more than you do. But here's what I really want you to pay attention to. Somewhere around the middle of this video, I'm going to tell you about a trap. It's called the payout ratio trap, and it is the single most common mistake that destroys impatient dividend investors. A guy named Phil is going to learn this lesson the hard way. You don't have to. I'm the wealth guardian. This is what I do. I break down long-term wealth building strategies so you can see exactly how ordinary people build extraordinary financial freedom. No hype, no gimmicks, just the math, the mindset, and the truth. So let's get into it. $4 million sounds like a joke when you're 24 and broke. You're eating ramen 3 nights a week, splitting streaming passwords, and checking your bank account balance like it's a horror movie you can't stop watching. But you have one thing working for you that no amount of money can buy later: time. And time, when applied to compound growth, is genuinely unfair and in your favor. So here's what you do. You open a brokerage account, a Roth IRA, taxable account, whatever you have access to. You start investing $800 a month into broad, diversified dividend ETFs. Not individual stocks, not crypto, not your buddy's startup. Broad, boring, beautiful index funds that pay dividends. In year one, you've got about $9,600 invested, generating roughly $30 a month in dividends. You reinvest every single penny. You don't post about it on social media. You don't brag to your friends at the bar because, frankly, there is nothing exciting to say yet. $30 a month doesn't get anyone's pulse racing. But here's what most people miss, and it is genuinely the most important thing I will say in this entire video, that $30 a month is not the point. The point is that those reinvested dividends are buying more shares. And those shares will pay their own dividends. And those dividends will buy more shares. It's a loop, a compounding loop. And in the early years, it moves so slowly, you will question whether it's doing anything at all. But it is. You just can't see it yet. Let's talk about what this actually looks like year by year, because the psychology of this journey matters just as much as the math. You get a raise at 28. Nothing dramatic, but enough to nudge your contributions up slightly. You land a real promotion at 32, and you bump your monthly investment up to $1,100. By the time you turn 30, your portfolio sits at roughly $120,000. That's 6 years of not buying the flashy car, wearing the same 3 pairs of shoes, and politely nodding when your coworkers talk about their massive kitchen renovations and brand new leased SUVs. That $120,000 is generating around $4,500 a year in background dividends, entirely on its own. It's not enough to live on, not remotely, but it's real. The machine has started to breathe. And I want to pause here because people always ask me what the hardest part is. They assume it's the initial sacrifice, the early years of putting money away when you'd rather spend it. It isn't. The hardest part is the boring middle years, between roughly ages 35 and 45. This is the period where you have enough money in the account to see what it's becoming, but not enough to feel totally secure. It's like standing in the middle of a river with neither bank visible, and you just have to keep swimming. You can see the destination on the spreadsheet, but you can't feel it in your daily life. You're still going to work, you're still budgeting, you're still making sacrifices. And the compound curve, which will look so dramatic on a chart, feels completely flat when you're living through it in real time. And let's be honest about something that most financial channels won't tell you. This journey has real personal costs that don't show up on any spreadsheet. Maybe you lose a relationship in your mid-30s. Partly because of this, she's not wrong to want a different life. She wants to buy a bigger house sooner, take lavish vacations, and stop optimizing every dollar for a future she can't picture. And you won't stop. You tell yourself it's discipline. Maybe it's also rigidity. That's a cost that doesn't appear in any compound interest calculator. And I think it's important to be honest about it. Building wealth over decades requires trade-offs that aren't just financial. They are deeply personal. Not everyone will understand what you're doing. Not everyone will wait around while you do it. And that's a reality you need to make peace with, or at least acknowledge, before you commit to this path. Now, remember that trap I mentioned at the beginning? The one that ruins the vast majority of impatient investors? Well, let's get into it, because around age 40, it comes for you directly. A guy at work, let's call him Phil from regional sales, pulls you aside at lunch one day. He's practically vibrating with excitement, showing you a stock on his phone, yielding 9%. 9%. Phil thinks he's found the holy grail. You ask him what the payout ratio is. Phil goes quiet in that very specific way people do when they realize they don't know what a word means, but they're too proud to ask. So let me break it down for everyone watching. The payout ratio is the percentage of a company's earnings that it pays out as dividends. If a company earns $1 per share and pays out 90 cents in dividends, that's a 90% payout ratio. That leaves almost nothing for reinvestment, debt reduction, or surviving a downturn. A healthy, sustainable payout ratio is typically somewhere between 40 and 60% for most established companies. When you see a yield of 8 or 9%, alarm bells should be ringing. You try to explain to Phil that markets are not charities. If a yield looks too generous, there's always a reason. The company is either borrowing to pay that dividend, running down its reserves, or the share price has already collapsed so far that the yield only looks high because the denominator has shrunk. Phil ignores you and buys the stock anyway. 18 months later, that company slashes its dividend by 60%, and the share price craters right along with it. Phil stops bringing it up. You never say, "I told you so," because there's no point. But you note it, you file it away, and it reinforces something you've believed for years. The boring path is the safe path, and the safe path is the one that actually gets you there. Let's also talk about diversification for a moment, because this is another area where people get it badly wrong. Most people think diversification means owning a lot of different individual stocks. It doesn't. True diversification means owning different types of assets that don't all fall at the exact same time. Through broad ETFs, you hold hundreds of companies, consumer staples, healthcare, utilities, industrials, technology. If one company cuts its dividend, the fund barely notices. You're not betting on any single business to keep paying you. You're betting on the entire economy to keep functioning. And over any meaningful time horizon, it always has. By age 45, your portfolio crosses the $500,000 mark. Let that sink in for a second. The dividends alone are now generating over $25,000 a year. That's a part-time salary you didn't have to clock in for. You're still reinvesting all of it. You're still going to work. But something has shifted psychologically. You can feel the compound curve starting to bend upward. The growth from this point on accelerates because you're earning returns not just on your contributions, but on decades of accumulated returns, earning their own returns. This is where the magic of compounding finally becomes visible to the naked eye. The first $500,000 took you over 20 years. The next $500,000, it takes a fraction of that time, and each subsequent milestone comes faster than the last. By 50, the portfolio is north of $2 million. The dividends are approaching $75,000 a year. You start to allow yourself, very cautiously, to imagine the end point. You run the numbers again and again, stress testing them against different scenarios: a prolonged market downturn, higher inflation, dividend cuts across the board. The math still works. By 53, the portfolio sits at just over $4 million. Your annual dividend income is approximately $152,000, with a safe blended yield of about 3.8%. You hand in your resignation on a Tuesday. Your manager looks more upset than you do. You feel almost nothing, just the quiet sensation of closing a browser tab you've had open for 29 years. Click. Gone. Over 29 years, you contributed roughly $850,000 of your own money from your salary. The rest, that came entirely from time, compound growth, and dividends reinvesting into more dividends. Your money made far more money than you ever did. Now you live off 70% of that dividend income, about $106,000 a year, and the other 30% automatically reinvest to keep the machine growing and to protect against inflation. You have no mortgage, you have no debt, you have no alarm clock. Last spring, you sat on a balcony overlooking the coast, glass of wine in hand, finally becoming the person in that YouTube thumbnail you watched back in your 20s. Except your version is real, sustainable, and entirely yours. On Wednesday mornings, you volunteer at a community center. There's a 23-year-old kid there, sharp, skeptical, who asks you about money. He wants a shortcut. You tell him the truth. There are no shortcuts. You teach him about the payout ratio trap. You tell him to put what he can afford each month into diversified ETFs and to max out his Roth IRA every single year. He asks how long it will take. You look at his impatient 23-year-old face and give him the honest answer: late 40s, early 50s, if he stays the course. He goes quiet for a moment. Then he asks if he can bring a notepad next week. You smile because that question tells you everything you need to know. He's going to be fine. There's a thing that happens when you watch a number compound over decades. It rewires your psychology. You stop thinking in weeks and start thinking in years. You watch the market drop 20% and you hold perfectly still because you finally understand, not intellectually but in your bones, that selling into fear is the only move guaranteed to destroy you. People talk about passive income as though it falls from the sky. Nothing about those 29 years was passive. It was a slow, unglamorous grind in spreadsheets while everyone else was buying things to show off. It required patience that bordered on stubbornness, discipline that occasionally cost you personally, and the ability to sit with uncertainty for years on end. But the income is passive now. That part is true. You didn't win the lottery. You didn't find a secret market hack. You just started, kept going, and tried really hard not to be stupid about it. And the ultimate reward isn't the money. It's the total ordinary freedom of a Wednesday morning with absolutely nowhere to be. If you're at the beginning of this journey, or even if you're trapped in that difficult middle stretch, I want you to know the math works. It has always worked. The only question is whether you have the patience to let it. I'm the Wealth Guardian, and I'll see you in the next one.